guys, it's Shay. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about beauty, nursing, and lifestyle weekly. And in today's title, we are going to be talking about something very pertinent for 2022 in nursing, and it's Nursing Glamorized. So basically, I know a lot of you guys, whether you're thinking about nursing, whether you're currently nurses, or whether you're thinking about a career change, you see a lot of ways that social media portrays nursing. Well, I've been a nurse for 5 years at the bedside, and I'm here to shed some reality on things that is talked about in nursing, on whether they are glamorized and what really happens in our career. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned. This is not to bash nursing or any organizations. This is basically meant to inspire, empower, and also for us to lead nursing the way that nursing needs to be led. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, when it comes to this topic, of course I had to split it up in a few criteria to make sure we stay on task. So one thing, I've tried to record this before, and it's just been so hard for me to record because I've been trying to filter through a lot of the things I said to remain a neutral party. But we're gonna just be raw and uncut here. I'm just gonna share my experience, my expression on what the media portrays nursing to be and what I have lived and what has been done. So the first topic I think we should definitely talk about is the schedule. The schedule, you guys already know what it is when you go on social media. You see your nurses on Instagram in Las Vegas, you see them in Cali, you see them in Miami, you see them in Hawaii. They're taking trips, they're doing things. They got 3 on and 4 off. Then the next week they got 4 off and 3 on. Then they go on the next trip. Is that glamorized? Is that real? Or is it, you know, just for flash? I have to tell you guys, your nursing schedule, especially in 2022, is what you make it. It's most certainly, definitely, you can have the 3 on and 4 off, but there are 2 things I have to tell y'all. The first thing, most of your 4 days off are going to be centered around work in some way, shape, or form. So your day after your 3 on, you're tired as heck. Your day before you go back, your night routine is centered around going back to work. And then you have these 2 other days. You can enjoy them, but most of the time, if you have like any services, any CEUs, things you gotta do, friends calling you on the phone, Johnny got a scrape on his knee, it's centered around nursing. So we do enjoy the schedule. The schedule is nice, but bodies weren't made to work 12 hours a day, and those 4 days you have off aren't always going to be your 4 days off. The second thing I have to tell you guys is most LPNs and RNs work, if you look at statistics, 2 to 3 jobs. We don't work one solid job, meaning we are adding on to those 3 days that we get from one job with 2 or 3 days from another job. Most of us max at 6 to 7 days of work in a week. So while we're talking about the schedule, it is nice. I don't think it's glamorized. I think it is something you can work with, especially with it being 2022 and nurses being so much in demand. It is something that you are able to control, but you just have to be mindful in the ways that you control it. Second thing I want to talk about is nursing tasks. So you know, you watch your doctor shows, you watch Grey's Anatomy, you watch this, you watch that. There's a new nurses show, I think, on ABC, and what you see your nurses doing: drinking coffee at the nurses station, chatting about what they did on their weekend, passing a couple meds, and calling it a day. You even have these days of a life in a nurse on, you know, YouTube, where obviously we're not able to document our whole days, because if we did, it would be tons of HIPAA violations. Let me just tell y'all, I worked a shift recently where I did so many tasks I couldn't even quantify. Putting in Foleys, putting in NG tubes, throwing IVs in, drawing labs, titrating this drip, titrating that drip, and I don't even work critical care. So these are some of the tasks that we are dealing with. And one big thing in nursing too is that there's a lot of task dumping, meaning there used to be a, you know, this role used to be the role of someone else, and now since we took away that role, or we're cutting that role's hours, we're gonna add it onto the nurse's task list. And this is something you always have to advocate for, you have to be mindful of, and you also have to play safe with. I know one thing, some institutions I work for, you draw labs yourself. Some institutions you work for, the lab will draw your labs all day. Do nurses mind drawing labs? No. I love sticking people, in my opinion, but when I have to go, you know, through Foley and Sally and go do an NG tube in room 40 and go titrate this drip with 2 nurses in another room, I don't really have time to be having extra tasks in the day. So while you see your nurses sipping on coffee and, you know, chilling at the nurses station, I really want to stress that that is glamorized. You won't work in your 12 hours, trust me. And there are going to be some days that are harder than others, and there are going to be some days where you can chart and you might have a little downtime. But I will tell y'all personally, in my experiences, those days are far and few. So just please keep that in mind when you think about getting into the nursing field. And also, of course, it depends on where you land in nursing too. While talking about the test, I think we can leather right over into the physical barrier or physical requirements for nursing. So I did not realize, in my opinion, how physically impairing or physical stress that nursing could be on your body. I am recently dealing with an injury where I really don't know if it happened at work or if it happened anywhere else, but I know that work definitely contributed to what happened to me. So I think this, more than being a glamorized part of this video, is just a piece of advice for anyone thinking about healthcare. Make sure you protect your body and make sure you advocate for yourself. If it is a two-person job, get 2 people. Never try to do a 2-person job on your own. 2 people jobs, in my opinion, are lifting patients, transporting patients, and etc. If you are trying to protect your back, if you're trying to protect your body, you need to make sure you are practicing safe body mechanics at work. Because at the end of the day, that hospital is going to be there, but when you're dealing with back pain, when you got to be out of work at age 40 because you sprained something, nobody's going to care about that, because that hospital still going to be making money and you're going to be hurting out of a job. So always remember that your body is literally one of your biggest lifelines, literally. I wouldn't keep y'all long, and of course I know y'all waiting to hear about this pay, but let's talk about support in the nursing community. So you guys know, you hear about the glamour in the nursing community. You hear that it's the most trusted profession. You hear that nurses are on the top of the totem pole when it comes to, you know, healthcare organizations and etc. But how true is this? How much support do nurses really get? How much do we get, you know, contributory to our well-being? How much care do people really care? And this isn't even coming from just the organizations, but just like patients, other professions in healthcare, and etc. I will give you guys a perfect example on how people really don't support nursing. I mean, we already know what the struggle is between the NPs and, you know, PAs and doctors and patients not wanting to see NPs and things like that. But I'll never forget, a couple weeks ago, I listened to my patient's lungs and I was like, you have crackles, and I was asking him how his breathing was and he was short of breath. And, you know, long story short, the patient asked what we should do about it, and I told him, I said, well, I'm going to talk to the doctor and you probably need some Lasix. We get this fluid out and then, you know, you're going to be feeling better. Your kidney function's good, so I'll talk to the doctor. And the patient literally blacked out on me, y'all. Like, start spazzing, start telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm just a little nurse, etc. My homie doctor comes in 15 minutes later. I talk to him before I goes in. He says, how's the patient doing? I said, he has shortness of breath, he's sitting here, and he has crackles in his bases. I said, we probably need to do a dose of Lasix. And the doctor's like, you think I should do this? You think I should do that? I say, well, order this dose of Lasix, and then we can reassess based on how the patient feels. We order the Lasix, I give the Lasix, the patient feels wonderful. The patient get on the phone and tell his wife, I met the best doctor today. I was feeling so short of breath. He listened to my lungs, ordered this Lasix, and now I feel like a new man. And I'm sitting over here, we're all busting out laughing at the nurse's station. But I'm like, yo, like, this patient really was just like, to the nurse and gave all that credit to the doctor, where we basically said the same thing. So I just want you guys to be mindful, especially new nurses, as you enter this career. The glamour is definitely big around how supported we are. Nurses are still struggling, not to be a strong profession, because we are strong, but we're struggling to make sure we're respected. Nurses have fought for a very long time to be a respected profession. While we're the most trusted, how much do you respect us? How much do you care about our opinion? We're these healthcare heroes they put on TV, but how does administration treat us? How do our patients treat us? And why are we still struggling for respect in 2022? But I really, really, really strongly feel that the support for the nursing community is very glamorized. And what is most important, I think, too, guys, is that we support each other. Support your coworkers, lean on your coworkers, because those are the only people who, one, understand what you're going through, and who, two, can talk some rationale, like, amongst each other. Because obviously, it's a lot of, you know, it's still a lot of power struggle that's going on with healthcare in general. I'm gonna drink my water for this next topic. So when it comes to the pay of nurses, do I think it's glamorized? So I know what y'all see on social media. You see the nurse pushing the Betty Benz. You see the nurse carrying the Louis. You see the nurse dropping stacks on her down payment for her home. Are we putting on a front? Is this overreactive? Are we working 70, 80-hour weeks? Or is this really how you can live as a nurse, you know, working sustainable hours and having a life? Let's talk about it. So I will speak from my personal experience, y'all. I've been a nurse for 5 years. I live on the Northeast Coast. I worked full-time before and recently dropped to part-time and still do a side hustle to support my means, and I do feel that my pay supports my means. I think it all depends on how you manage your money, what your goals are, and what your definition of luxury is. These are 3 things that are going to be different for every girl, for every nurse, but I never ever have felt in my life that the decision I made on nursing was a bad one when it came to finances. I have a roof over my head, I have clothes on my back, I have food to eat, and I'm satisfied. I'm greatly satisfied and I'm grateful because I could be 10 million other places. But like I said, it will all depend on what works for you. I don't think anybody works nursing that does not live a lifestyle that supports their basic needs. And I think the pay, do I think nurses should make more? Of course. Is there nurses who make more than me? Duh. Is there nurses who make less than me? Yeah. But again, like I said, it all depends on the lifestyle you live, not portray, the lifestyle you live and what your goals are with the money that you're making. One thing I can definitely tell you guys about all 5 topics I've talked about in this video, the beautiful thing in nursing is so versatile that any of these situations you have, you can change with just making a shift in the nursing career. Still be a nurse, still practice as a nurse, but choosing a different specialty or even a different place of work can really make a difference in your schedule, your physical life load, your task, the support you get, and the money you make. So that's one of the biggest things I also wanted to talk about in this video, that while many things in nursing are glamorized, you make your nursing career what you make it. The money you make, the schedule you have, etc., is how you make it. And that's what nursing is in 2022 also. There's so many opportunities. While COVID has had an impact on some of those, you know, specialties, there's so many opportunities to do other things if you don't necessarily feel like you line up with bedside, you line up with outpatient, etc. And that's one of the biggest things you guys know I preach on my channel all the time. There, guys, we have reached the end of the video, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this video on my channel. So the big question, is nursing glamorized, has definitely been answered. You guys, I want you to know that nursing is what you make it. So while some things might seem more glamorized than others, I talked about the most important thing in the last end of this video, is making nursing what you want it to be. And when things seem like they aren't right, you make the changes you need to make for yourself and for your own career. That is all what it is about being not only a boss girl, but just being someone who's in control of what they want in their life. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this video helped you out. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you can see more nursing videos. And if you're back, make sure you leave some comments down below. Do you agree with some of the stuff that I said? Do you disagree? Which is totally okay. Y'all know we keep it real here. This was speaking on my reality. What was your reality? Let us know down in the comment box, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you.